As someone who started watching NBA in 2002, I must say I was a little bit surprised when I learned last night that NBA will be suspending its 2019 to 2020 season so suddenly. I think it only makes sense for NBA to suspend its remaining games for both a financial and for public health perspective. In today's video, following the announcements that NBA will be suspending the remaining season on the evening of March 12, 2020, I just wanted to share my perspective on this situation and why, although it is unexpected, but it is the only logical move here. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Dennis, and in my channel I share tips, lessons learned, as well as my perspectives in life as a past immigrant. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. As a die-hard NBA fan since 2002, obviously, I feel it is such a shame that it has come down to this. Vince Carter may have just played his last official NBA game in his career, unexpectedly and somewhat prematurely. We may not get to see if Lebron still has it in him to lead the Lakers to another NBA championship, winning another championship with his 13th in his career, or if the Raptors still have this desire and the ambition and hunger in them to repeat and beat the Bucks, who I think is one of the best teams in the league this season. That being said, let's analyze the situation from two different perspectives. Financially, according to Forbes, the Utah Jazz franchise earns approximately $258 million annually, divided by 82 games. That equates to roughly $3.17 million in revenues per game, ranking 21st out of the 30 teams in the NBA in terms of profitability. To give you a little bit more perspective, currently Utah Jazz is valued at $1.55 billion, sitting at the 21st place according to Forbes, and Lakers at a valuation of $4.4 billion is ranked at the second place. If you care to know, the New York Knicks actually rank number 1 at $4.6 billion. But since they have sucked so bad for so long, Now, after my most trusted private investigator, Google, has led me to basketballreference.com, I learned that the current player roster on the Utah Jazz earns approximately $122 million across the 15-man roster. Rudy Gobert earns approximately $25 million per year this season, or roughly 20% of the entire roster's income. Rudy Gobert for this season earns a salary of $25 million, making up roughly 20% of the entire roster's salary. And what is really interesting is 12 out of the 15-man roster earns more than $1 million USD this season. Keep in mind, the Utah Jazz as a franchise only ranks 21st in terms of profitability in the league. Furthermore, I went a step deeper and I learned that in the 2019 to 2020 season, of the 545 contracts recorded, only 101 contracts earn the players less than $1 million per year. Basically, as an oversimplification, what it means is if you are playing in the NBA, 80% of the times you make at least $1 million per year in your current contract. Or if you care to know, 81.47% of the current players in the NBA today make over $1 million in salaries pre-tax per year. When you have all these NBA basketball players making at least $1 million per year at the risk of being exposed to the COVID-19 or the coronavirus, a disease that currently does not have a proven cure or vaccination, you just can't really force them into playing again at the risk of basically their lives. Not only for moral, but also for logical and legal reasons. Can you imagine all these players being forced to play again at the risk of their lives? What will they do? A class lawsuit by the Players Association? It's just never a good idea to get sued by a millionaire let alone hundreds of them together at the same time. Now, let's get into the bigger picture. I was a kid back in 2003 and frankly, I was too young to remember anything. However, I have been following the developments of the coronavirus since its inception back in the Chinese New Year. And I have been following the news quite closely ever since then. Not only did I witness the Chinese government shutting down Wuhan, a city of 11 million people, but also the subsequent international outbreak. To put shutting down Wuhan as a city of 11 million people in perspective, the greater Los Angeles area, according to Google, has 18 million people, and New York City has just under 9 million people in population. Can you imagine a city like New York City or the greater Los Angeles area being completely shut down for a day, for a week, or even for a month, and everyone is prohibited from just going about their lives regularly and have to stay at home? In the past few days, we learned that countries like South Korea, Japan, Iran, Italy have all been severely impacted by the coronavirus. Cities are partially or completely shut down. Free travel is no longer an option. City officials and statesmen have been confirmed to have caught the coronavirus, and some have even deceased. Schools and classes are suspended or even cancelled, and people are ordered to stay at home while the health officials are trying to figure out how to tackle and stop the outbreak of the coronavirus. You can't stop wondering why people are still going to major events like an NBA game when the Tokyo Olympics will be delayed almost certainly because of the fear of another outbreak. Now, I have been to a few live sports events myself, and I understand how likely it is to be exposed to a virus that cannot be contained just because of the people that you are exposed to in the arena. You have no idea the person sitting next to you and your friends, who have they been exposed to, and if any one of those exposures have been to one of those affected areas recently, or if they even have been affected by the coronavirus. And from NBA's perspective, they just cannot risk the possibility and risk of cultivating the perfect environment for the coronavirus to spread. And as of the shooting of the video, the confirmed coronaviruses is now at just short of 135,000 cases and just under 5,000 reported deaths. And while we have just short of 70,000 people recover from the virus, what that means is out of every 100 people who are confirmed to have the coronavirus, probably 3.7 people will die from the disease out of every 100 cases. All in all, I just wanted to get my perspectives out of my chest. As a fan, I know it sucks, but as a conscientious and logical person, I think this is the best thing to do. I know it is probably the best thing for the major leagues like NBA to shut down its games for the general public. Additionally, I'm just gonna make a bold move to look into the future and explain what likely will happen. I really think that now NBA has made its move. The other leagues and associations and tournaments and major events will soon follow. I will also assume Rudy Gobert cannot be the only person. Perhaps we're just scratching the tip of the iceberg, knowing how closely the players interact with each other, the coaching staff, the medical staff, potentially the team staff, as well as with the fans and the reporters, and just in general, the people in the same arenas. Now, if you were to ask me how long the suspension will be, I would say it should be at least a good 45 days from today. And then this time, what the NBA will likely do is to monitor this situation closely and evaluate perhaps after 45 days to see if we can resume the season, or if needed, perhaps further push down the NBA remaining season, or just wrap up the season as is as of today, and perhaps just head straight to the playoffs. Potentially, instead of the traditional finals in June, we may have the finals in October instead. Obviously, it is my sincere hope that the virus will be contained and we can all have our lives back to what they were before the virus. Before I wrap up the video today, I just wanted to encourage everyone to take a proactive measure to ensure that they are safe from the virus. For your own sake, as well as those you love and those around you, make sure you stay away from public mass gatherings wherever possible, at least for the next little while, until things started to get better. Make sure you wash your hands with soap regularly and frequently, and make sure you sing the song Happy Birthday twice before you finish rubbing and then rinsing your hands. Wear masks as needed as a proactive measure. Obviously, I know most people in the Asian countries like the Chinas, the Japans, the South Koreas, and Taiwans and Hong Kongs are all wearing masks, and basically no one is doing so in North America right now. But for your own sake, wear masks as needed and avoid unnecessary intimate physical contact with each other, such as cheek kisses, as well as hugs, as well as handshakes, at least for the time being. Before I wrap up the video, I just wanted to say, if you like today's video, make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps a small channel like mine to grow. Until next time, stay safe and stay clean. I will see you in the next video.